can I ask you a question?
Go on then.
So Elis and I, sort of dynamic, works quite well. Because I'm sort of Johnny Big Potatoes in the world of our relationship.
Yeah.
But that's not actually reflected by our career trajectories.
Oh, yeah.
And I wondered how, becoming increasingly aware, Elis is involved in a lot of extracurricular activities.
Is he?
Doing very well.
Are you getting worried he's straying? I mean, he's been popping up on TV.
He's in quite a lot of sitcoms that he doesn't seem to have been able to wangle me parts in.
Right.
Even when those parts cried out for specific areas of knowledge that I have and probably could have got inside the mind of.
Yeah.
So it's becoming increasingly clear that his mortgage is not necessarily being paid by
the balance
by
is
Robin's
shifting.
work.
Yeah.
Is it magnanimous to ask your listeners to write a script of a sitcom that would feature you? So Elis is in Josh, the sitcom that Josh Widdicombe.
Oh, yeah.
And I sort of suggested that it would be more than... I actually wrote an episode outline that included me as a character obsessed by Queen who comes to move into the spare room.
Yeah.
That's not been... They haven't been in contact about that yet. But I'm sure it's in the pipeline.
Yeah. But Elis is in there.
Oh, he's got his main part.
Is he?
Main part. Yeah. And also the season, it's very funny. I don't know if you've seen it, but it features sort of a revolving cameo fest of all our sort of friends in stand-up.
Right, except you.
Except me, notable.
Don't let it get to you. Just sit back, play the long game. Don't start thinking, well, this is bad, and like making crazy... Don't start killing people. I mean, the worst.
I won't do that. I think
I don't mind referring to these kinds of things now because I feel like they're in the past. And I remember me and Joe watching Pete and Dud.
Not when they're doing Derek and Clyde.
Yeah,
that horrible scene where he's putting crisps in his hair.
I mean, he's been so horrible.
It's just the worst.
And he's just being vicious, and we're supposed to think that he's being funny, and Dudley Moore's kind of tolerating it because technically Dudley Moore is doing him a favour by being on the show because he's such a big star, he doesn't need to do it anymore, and he's aware that Peter Cook looks incredibly bitter, even though supposedly people that knew him say he really wasn't, and he just did think he was being funny, and he didn't.
I think that's how that would be a similar dynamic to me and Elis.
Yeah.
Because I know those recordings where... Especially when Dudley, I think it was Dudley Moore's either mum or dad had cancer. So a lot of the cancer ones are Peter Cook bullying him, but doing it in a sketch, so he can't come out of it. And my favourite sketch of theirs, the ticket one with his mum.
You say a ticket.
Ticket. Your ticket. That's great because Dudley wins that. He's funnier and he takes over the bit, and then Peter Cook at the end just shuts him down. And it's essentially because he's gone, no, you're not winning. I will just I will put a full stop at the end of this sketch. So it's sad and to hear, but it's also, you can't sort of tear your ears away.
I think the other thing is that that you tend to read a lot of your own hang-ups into those kinds of things. And it might well be, we don't know what the real dynamic between those two was. And it might well be that they just knew each other's limits and they revelled in pushing each other as far as they could. I mean, it's hard to read it that way. When you look at Dudley Moore, I mean, it seems fairly clear that he is suffering and he's just like, this is awful and this isn't funny and this is uncomfortable. And Peter Cook's just like, I don't care. I'm just going to push you as far as I can. But who knows, I guess what I'm saying is that I know because me and Joe are probably better than Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, and I think very well respected in that way. And people look at our relationship and they think, what was really going on there?
Do you think there'll ever be an Edinburgh Fringe show where two actors play you and Joe?
Well, funny you should say that. No.